In the case of Puff Puff Pass All Up, it only takes Joe Rogan to call someone out on the Joe Rogan experience. Although, as the viral podcasting suggests, Shah DC has been acting out since day one. It's only now that the world is finally realizing who he really is. All right, let's be honest for a moment.
I don't have any real personal beef with Diddy, but it's got to go down.
But I guess it's one of those things where, like, you justify, you go, okay, if there's, I think this person might have done something bad.
Yes.
And he can get jokes, and we're all going to tell jokes.
Yeah.
I'm not pressing fucking charges.
Well, not only that, you're not the guy who's out there, like, calling the New York Times, hey, you know what I heard about
By
Diddy?
the way, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You're just like, it's...
I mean, it's better late than never for now. She claimed that Diddy has built himself a hole from which he is unable to escape. And Joe feels that this is the case since it was a long-term plan, and the bad boy records discovered had been playing dangerously near to the fire for some time before it all came up with him.
Tricky situation.
Boy,
Diddy's in a
that's the
tricky
understatement
situation.
of the year.
Yeah, I think it's over.
You think it's over?
I think it's over for him as like a figure in entertainment.
Right.
It's a lot of people.
It's not just the music business. It's like, it's the extortion business.
Well, that's... Yeah, I mean, the rap game was crazy. That's a thing a lot of people don't realize. So this is where the idea of, like, checking in comes from. Have you heard of this term?
Yes.
Like, checking in was basically like, hey, I want to make sure we're good because you're going to pay me, and if I don't check in, you might rob me because you're putting me up at the
hotel. But according to the accusations of sexual abuse and sex trafficking, the diddler is not the only one facing charges. The federal government has amassed a growing list of names, most of which were taken from Lil Rod's 73-page record affidavit, which demonstrates how all the other major stars in Hollywood would swarm to.
Oprah.
Oprah.
J-Lo.
J-Lo.
A-Rod.
A-Rod.
Will Smith.
Will Smith.
Alicia Keys.
Alicia Keys.
Look at this pretty hit. Black King God, dude. Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber.
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart.
Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg.
Snoop.
Snoop.
DJ Khaled.
DJ Khaled.
Swiss Beats.
Speed.
Kelly Rowland.
Kelly Rowland.
Chris Brown.
Chris Brown.
Maluma.
Lupa.
Issa Rae.
Issa Rae.
Sierra.
Sierra.
Janelle Monáe.
And Monet.
Yeah, that's my sis right there. Lizzo.
Lizzo.
Megan Thee Stallion.
Megan Thee Stallion.
J Balvin.
J Balvin.
Naomi Campbell.
Naomi Campbell.
That's your auntie. Yes, Naomi Campbell's your auntie.
Then how can she not?
No, she's a supermodel. Well, let's get back to the list. Okay. Jessica Alba.
Jessica Alba.
Rita Wilson.
Rita Wilson.
Gabrielle Union.
Gabrielle Union.
Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne Wade.
Usher.
Usher.
Demi Lovato.
Demi Lovato.
Shaq and his whole family.
Shaq and his whole family.
Tracy Ellis Ross.
Tracy Ellis Ross.
Little Uzi Vert.
Little Uzi Vert.
Sway Lee.
Sway Lee.
Rick Ross.
Rick Ross.
Julian Huff.
Julian Huff.
Diplo.
Diplo.
E-Nice.
E-Nice.
Drea.
Drea.
Burna Boy.
Burna Boy.
The show Scherzinger. Nicole Scherzinger. Nicole from the Pussycat Dolls. Say Nicole.
Oh,
From the Pussycat Dolls.
Cat Dog.
That's right. Paris Goldman.
Cat Dog.
Cara Delevingne. Winnie Harlow. Prince Montana. And a bunch of big surprises that I can't tell you. Because they're so big, sometimes they get busy and they forget that they committed to answering the phone.
The viral podcaster is well known for his conspiracy theories. In his most recent one, he He asserts that the federal government was really there to remove footage rather than recover it. Diddy has been accused of horrific crimes, and Joe feels that everyone in Hollywood is complicit. He believes that the police raiding his mansions may not be a good sign.
Invade your house.
You got problems.
With dudes with fucking guns and body armor.
It's fun to talk about.
It is fun to talk about. It's hard to know what's true. The glee that people have is weird.
Why?
Because he's too successful.
Things would become so bad that Diddy would have freakouts. Ex-colleagues and friends of a music mogul said that Diddy would assist up-and-coming musicians connect with some of the greatest names in the business by promising them things, only to load them up with strong narcotics and booze and abuse the crap out of them. I wonder if they also sell chastity belts for the face, as you may need one if you're attending a Diddy party. It almost seems like you should bring one.
Well, if he really was filming everybody, I mean, he had a lot of people at those parties, right? Like, you got a wild party. There's so many different...
Now that his demise has arrived, accusers of his misdeeds are emerging from the shadows to accuse the rapper and SL music producer of all the terrible things he has done to them. The best legal team in the world for PID is arguing that the complainants are only seeking a payday loan and that all of these charges are unfounded.
Victims, she alleges that, Diddy and Aaron Hall back in 1991 took turns raping her. What you think about that?
Well, I think because the New York state law has made rape just like murder, there's no statute of limitation. A lot of people going to be coming out the woodwork charging these guys who did things like she said that they did way back when. Now, Cassie has already proved that Puff is capable of doing what this girl said. Now, did he do her? Don't know that. Aaron Hall? Don't know him either, brother, but I know of him. He was a good friend of my family, K. Slay, but I learned from him some stuff about him from K, but I learned something from him directly by Gloria Valente.
And for those of you who thought it could not possibly get any worse, you would be sorely mistaken. According to Joe, sexual offenses in Hollywood are far more common than we realize. In fact, he feels that there is a single massive conspiracy in which everyone is involved. He even draws comparisons between Diddy's predicament and Jeffrey Epstein's connections to politicians and celebrities, calling the music mogul the epiphan of Hollywood.
I don't think any of those guys don't have their houses bugged. I don't think any of those guys aren't tracked, right? There's the people on the right that are trying to nail the people that are on the left with this. There's people that are journalists that are trying to nail the people that were involved in this.
This is it,
And they've managed to keep that fucking list from coming out, which shows you how powerful certain people are.
Which makes some sense in retrospect, given that their clientele was the same. While some names, like Stevie J, didn't surprise fans, others, like Prince Harry, had everyone taken aback. Lil Rod cited a number of persons in his complaint against Diddy, suggesting that the music producer has some extremely influential connections.
Those raids, and they were quite extraordinary, those raids. It was like a military operation going into both the mansions on each coast. And we'll come back to that. But this is unrelated to that. This is coincidental that this story has dropped. So this is the story of a man called Rodney Little Rod Jones, who's a producer who's filed a $30 million civil suit against P. Diddy. He's got several suits against him. Now, in the paperwork for this, he has mentioned Prince Harry's name, using Prince Harry as an example of the sort of people that P. Diddy would mix with. He's not accusing Prince Harry of having done anything wrong whatsoever. And to be very honest, there is no suggestion, there's no evidence that P. Diddy and Prince Harry are friends in any way. This vision you see here was back in 2007 at a charity event, and Prince William there as well. And some newspapers are sort of cropping him out of the photographs they're using. But that seems to be the only time they've met and been together. So unwittingly, Prince Harry has been kind of dragged into this one. And, you know, I'm no major Prince Harry fan, but you've got to be fair about these things. He's sort of, through no fault of his own, now been implicated into this, and his name, of course, ends up becoming the headline.
Diddy was the one who opened up his mansions, and they were the ones who kept the freak shows happening year after year, growing bigger and more sinister each time. However, Joe wants to be clear that he didn't act alone. He was joined by celebrities, music producers, politicians, and even religious leaders who all took part in exploiting young people in the industry.
Accusations, you know, because if some of the accusations are true, that kind of covers things. You know, when folks vanish. When someone does abracadabra,
see you later.
Folks vanish.
Yeah, that's effective. That fear is effective, man.
100%. Yeah, and it should be.
The fact that he recorded everything the man was holding on to, including some of the wealthiest and most influential figures in the business committing crimes on his property in the hopes that he would use the recordings to extort him later, surprised the inner circle, as we all know.
Definitely making it. I'm making it for everybody, and I think it's going to really open and broaden everybody's horizons. Yeah, definitely. I was looking for you. I tell you, get your hand out my pocket, man. Get your hand out my pocket. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing on the channel. Get your hand out my pocket, man. Look at me when I'm talking to you. I see, yo. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing, man. I see what you're doing. Nah, look at me, man. I see what you're doing, man. Yeah, you gonna make me. Okay, I'm telling y'all right now, when I want to work for Diddy, I'm gonna physically put my hands on somebody for the ratings. Because he's not gonna outdo me. I'm gonna physically, I'm gonna go.
One person who is still safe, in Joe's opinion, is 50 Cent. The man has a grudge against Diddy since day one and has been telling everyone D-listen that the music mogul was up to no good. Joe finds it hilarious that everyone is trying to get him to appear on their show to talk about Diddy bro, and he's been that way for a very long time. You know that, right? He's like, why is this guy trying to take me shopping? Did you see what Diddy went on? He replies, I was just trying to be nice. I assumed he needed some clothes. He might know something. Yes, he might be onto something.
Bro, and he's been that way forever. You know that, right? Yes. He's like, why is this guy trying to take me shopping?
And did you see when Diddy went on? He goes, I was just trying to be nice. No, I thought he wanted some clothes.
He goes, I thought he needed some clothes. He might know something.
Right. He might be onto something. Yeah. He's wild.
Yeah, we got to go to dinner fifth.
Yeah.
He's wild, yeah. We got to go to dinner fifth, yeah. He's wild, all right. They can't control me. Maybe Kanye West, too. I know what I mean when I say that they have power over Shaq, Charles Barkley, LeBron James, Jay-Z, and Bianca, but they cannot control me. You cannot send any of you, Meek Mills, your Puffies, your Tiny Boos, because the truth will be heard. All of these individuals who must listen to you because they are dealing with legal matters have none of these names. Even if Diddy manages to walk away scot-free, Joe believes that his reputation will take irreversible hits and he will never recover from it. It's for the parties, yo.
They could control Charles Barkley. They could control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
But not you, man.
But they can't control me. Truth is gonna be heard. Y'all can't send none of y'all Meek Mills, y'all Puffies, y'all Lil Boozy, none of these names, none of these people that have to listen to y'all because they're dealing with, they have legal. I never kill nobody, right? I'm the pussy that never kill nobody, right? But that means I can say whatever I want.
And nobody is going to those parties anymore, so you have to tell them no. I never can nobody right. I'm the __ that never can nobody right. But that means I can say whatever I want. What do you think? Do you think there's any way to save Diddy? It's difficult to avoid thinking about it, but there are many who believe that Diddy, the greatest vice, is not the only one. All right, this guy needs to get ready. Bring a baseball bat. Stick your ass in a line of cocaine. What are you going to tell him? You have to tell them no.